I feel like there is a lot of pressure put on people right now, especially homemakers, especially women, to make Christmas magical. And I'm gonna be honest right now, I do not plan to even attempt to make Christmas magical. It's more important to me in the last several years to make Christmas meaningful. I mean, to me, magical also usually seems synonymous with costing money, time, or sanity. And I just decided a few years back that I really wanted a little bit more time to truly enjoy and savor the season. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't think that the Christmas that I'm trying to create and curate for my family is minimalist by any standards. My kids will still get presents. We will still be hosting people for get-togethers. We will still have lots of delicious food available. I'm just a little bit more choosy about how I spend my time, my money, and my mental bandwidth during this season than I used to be. So in case somebody else needs to hear this, you don't have to make it quote unquote magical to make it meaningful for your family. And I thought I might spend this video taking you on just a little tour of my home and some of the ways that we have decorated for Christmas, because I think that this idea shows up for us in a lot of ways around the house. But if you're looking for like perfect or like Pinterest worthy decor and home management around the holidays, this video, this isn't it, okay? That's not what I'm going for with this. I get less decor out at Christmas than I used to. I have started to really think as the boxes come out from the shed and from the garage, okay, what do I really want to put out? And it actually seems like we enjoy it more when there's less of it, because the things that we do have out are meaningful. We have stories about them, and it seems like we can actually give more of our attention to them because we're not distracted by just too much stuff everywhere. Maybe that's just me. That's kind of how I am in general anyway, but definitely at Christmas, I think it has helped to sort of like prune down the Christmas decorations. When my husband and I were first married in our little bitty starter home, just the two of us, we had a little Christmas tree and we had like hand-me-down ornaments and decorations. And a few years after that, when we were moving into a different house and Ruthie was about to be born, I wanted to invest in a nice Christmas tree. We had a vaulted ceiling in that house, so we got a 9-foot Christmas tree. I really wanted a red and gold tree. So I waited for those after Christmas clearances to get those nice ornaments and garland and things that I could use to have like a more formal tree. And I probably kept that tree in our living room for like 7, 8, 9 years. And when we moved here to Tulsa 7 years ago, I wanted to do kind of like a buffalo check, urban farmhouse type tree. I was able to keep a lot of my red and like my garland and stuff for that tree. I also ended up having to buy another new tree. And this time I learned my lesson. I did not buy a pre-lit tree, because every time I buy the pre-lit trees, it seems like after a few years, at least one of those strands goes out on the tree and I have to string lights anyway. So we have just like a regular 9-foot non-pre-lit Christmas tree. I string the lights on it. We've had it for many years. In fact, it's getting a little wobbly and we have to like put books and stuff under it and kind of like stabilize the tree and the stand, but I'm determined to make it work because I don't want to buy another Christmas tree. But a couple years ago, I was feeling really nostalgic and I wanted to bring a lot of like the old family ornaments from Daniel's and my childhood and that the kids have made us onto our like big family Christmas tree in the living room. We always had them like on a Christmas tree in the kitchen that the kids got to decorate themselves, but I really wanted to bring them back out onto my main tree because I don't know, I was just feeling really nostalgic that year, and since then that's what I've done. I purposely picked out from our bins and boxes like the most handmade or nostalgic looking ornaments, and some that have been made for us or that the kids have made for us since my husband and I have been married, and also some that go like way back to when my husband and I were kids in our parents' homes. So it's not super fancy, but it's meaningful. And we have a really great time getting these out, and we tell the kids stories about different ornaments, or they ask about who gave us this or what does this ornament mean. So it's kind of a fun conversation starter for us and our family. But again, I didn't buy anything new for the tree this year. I didn't even have to buy a new strand of lights. Usually I have to replace 1 or 2 strands of my Christmas lights, but I had enough to string them on my tree because again, no more pre-lit Christmas trees, not for me. I'm not falling for it. I also really like our nativities. I have one from my mother. It's a Willow Creek nativity that she purchased for me years ago. And then I have one from my mother-in-law. So we have two nativity scenes, one from both sides of the family. And maybe you've already figured this out. It took my family a few days, but the baby Jesus is not in the nativities yet. We are in Advent, a season of waiting. And so I have the baby Jesuses for my nativities tucked away someplace safe, and they will come out at Christmas. We are what I call liturgical Protestants. So we're a little bit more traditional, and we recognize the seasons of the year on the church calendar. And right now we're in the season of Advent, which is the season of waiting for the birth of Christ. And so years ago, my husband and I decided to have an Advent wreath in our home that we could light throughout the Advent season with the kids. And a lot of times we would do this at dinner, and the kids loved it. They would almost like fight over who got to light the candles and who got to put the candles out. But in an Advent wreath, you have a wreath with 4 candles that make a square, and they're either 4 purple candles or 3 purple candles and 1 pink candle. And then you have a big white candle in the center of the wreath. We used to use tapers and, you know, like an actual wreath and then big tall taper candles. But several years ago, I decided that I would use these votive holders that are colorful. I have 3 purple, and then you can't really tell on camera, but this is kind of a light pink votive holder. And that way I can just use regular white votives or tea lights, which are really, really easy to find. And I even have some battery operated tea lights if I don't want to use real candles in my Advent wreath. And then it's just sitting on this aluminum tray that I usually have on my dining room table, and I use it all year long with various decorations. So it's really easy. I just put some greenery around it and my votives and votive holders, and then my big white candle and my little hurricane vase here in the middle. And the 4 candles that are in the circle of the wreath, the 4 candles that are around the white candle, you light each one of those consecutively on the 4 Sundays before Christmas Eve. And then on Christmas Eve, you light all 5 candles, the purple candles and the white candle in the middle. I bought hardly any new Christmas decorations this year. In fact, I think anything quote unquote new that I purchased came from the thrift store. I found this really pretty bowl that I knew I wanted to use. It has a poinsettia on it, and I love poinsettias at Christmas. And I also found some beautiful pictures on my camera roll on my phone when I was just going through old pictures on my phone from Christmas time. A picture of the candles lit on Christmas Eve at our church and our Advent wreath with the candles lit. I also have this absolutely darling picture of McKenna when she was a baby reaching up for ornaments on the Christmas tree. I had a coupon for like 50% off at CVS for photos, and I just ordered some prints. I found some picture frames at the thrift store that I just like cleaned up, spray painted, popped those pictures inside, and voila, I have like fresh Christmas decorations for my house. A few dollars for pictures that I probably should have printed years ago, and then, you know, a few bucks worth of old picture frames and spray paint to freshen them up, and there you have it. I am unpacking my Christmas dishes now. I need to get them into the dishwasher so we can start using them, because that's another thing I decided years ago. I'm not going to save the nice, pretty Christmas dishes for just 1 or 2 meals that we eat. We like to eat on these throughout the season. And it's meaningful for me because these dishes came from my aunt's estate. She passed away almost 15 years ago. She and my mother were very close. She was 10 years older than my mom. And so my aunt was kind of like a grandparent for me and my little sister, especially since my mom's parents died when we were very young. So I have a lot of fond memories of her. She was a very elegant lady. I mean, she could decorate the house beautifully. She and her husband, my Uncle Don, made absolutely amazing meals. So I don't know, I just love getting these out, and I think of her every year when I do. But we use them as much as we can. We don't just save them for like the one fancy Christmas meal anymore. And I don't know. I really feel like setting my table is festive in and of itself, even if I didn't have Christmas dishes. I know not everybody does, and these were given to me. They were a gift and they're meaningful. But just setting my table, you know, and using things that I have around the house, I feel like that's sort of a decoration all its own, you know. We are big fans of puzzles, especially me and my son, my youngest. We love to work on puzzles, and we almost always have one going all year long, but especially at Christmas, we will have one going here on the puzzle board, which is on the coffee table in the kitchen. And I love to sit here on the couch and work on the puzzle and put like a Christmas movie on our little TV, have our nice Christmas tree lit over here. This is like one of my favorite things to do. And we have such a stockpile of these puzzles that we don't run out in the Christmas season. Plus, somebody almost always gets us a new one every Christmas too, so that we can add to our little collection to choose from. I like the 500-piece puzzles. We do have some 1,000-piece puzzles as well. Anything over that, and it takes a little too long for us, we lose interest, but really, really love the 500 and the 1,000-piece Christmas puzzles. And I have this little pencil tree in the kitchen this year. I was putting it in the study, and I don't even have anything on it but lights. I'm not even sure I will put anything on it. So if you don't even have your ornaments up yet, don't worry, because I've got a bare tree here, save for the lights. And honestly, I kind of like it that way. What do you think, Pip? I know, trying to help with the puzzle. I have always really enjoyed Vlogmas and the idea of going through a season with somebody. In fact, that might be the thing that really led me to start a YouTube channel. I don't think that I have the bandwidth to put out a video every day in December like I did the first year that I had my channel, but I did want to put out some extra videos during the season just for fun. My hope is that for the first 3 weeks of December, Monday through Friday, I'm gonna have something new for you. Some of it will be daily vlogs. Some of it might be a video like this where I'm just chit-chatting with you. I'm gonna share with you the things that I got my kids and my husband for Christmas. Of course, I'll have my regular content for you too, with like grocery hauls and meal ideas and different things that we are making in my kitchen like I usually do. So don't be surprised, I guess, if you see a few extra videos from me over the next few weeks, and if they're maybe a little outside of my usual niche. If you watched this one or you watch any of those videos, thank you so much for humoring me. And YouTube thinks you might want to watch one of these next.